Aside from Naofumi and Raftalia, I hate every fucking character in this show. The Rising of the Shield Hero returns for another episode that makes my blood absolutely boil. I fucking hate every side character in this series. They are just the douchiest of the douche. This episode was kind of like watching a train wreck in slow motion. You just couldn't look away. That doesn't mean that it was a bad episode, but it was just another one of those episodes where everybody just continues to continuously beat down on Naofumi, and it's just not fair. This entire episode is basically wrapping up the last arc of the series after the big wave of destruction rolled its way into town and fucked up some people's shit. And of course, the other three heroes, the bow, the spear, and the sword, are getting all the praise, and everybody's just taking a big ol' shit right on Naofumi's shield. And of course, the catalyst for all of this bullshit is none other than Mine, or Malty, or maybe it's Malty Mine, the chick that screwed over Naofumi and who just so happens to be the daughter of the king himself. She actually tells Motoyas, the spear hero, that this guy is taking a slave and probably doing naughty things with her too, which of course causes Motoyas in his super chivalrous ways to want to save Raftalia, and he challenges Naofumi to a one-on-one duel, something that Naofumi cannot get out of because the king decrees that it's gotta happen. Let's do it, bitches! There's of course also the stipulation that Raftalia is going to be freed from being a slave if Motoyas is actually going to win the battle, and then thus the battle begins. And guys, this was a really great action scene, and honestly was just satisfying as all hell, because it's been made clear multiple times throughout the series that Naofumi doesn't really have the ability to attack, but he still managed to really hold his own in battle, and let's face it, he won this fight. Not only was he able to utilize his multiple shield transformations to end up trapping Motoyas inside of like a giant steel ball with all of those weird balloon monsters, there was nothing he could do to escape. He won the battle there. But of course, Mine decided to interfere with her bullshit magic, and because of that, Motoyas was able to win. And everybody that was watching and the king decided that yes, the spear hero had actually won the day. Thus, here it is. Naofumi has just got shit on again by everyone, and he has lost his freaking partner. The person who is responsible for defending him and destroying the monsters that they're actually going to fight against. I will say this though. The fact is, a lot of the characters are just douchebags to the ridiculous nth degree. But I have to say, the bow and the sword hero actually realize that Mine cheated in this fight, and they call her out on her bullshit here, which I thought was really awesome. It's the first steps towards me to actually liking these characters a little bit, as they're not so hard-headed as a lot of these other characters, and of course, just, I don't know why they have it out for Naofumi so bad. Like, I don't know why they want to shit on this guy who's responsible for saving their entire fucking existence. It's so damn strange. This causes Naofumi to go into an extremely dark, depressive state where he even starts to have these like weird hallucinatory visions of Raftalia in her younger form being freed and having all of this stuff taken away from her and even being abandoned by her. It takes him to this really dark moment where literally there's this like weird like curse that's going on with him. It's connected to the power of his shield, and it says like the curse has been activated or something around those lines. It's something to him probably activating like a superpower of his own, and I'm not sure what this is all connected to, but the scene is at least made heartwarming when Raftalia, even after being freed and removed from the ownership of Naofumi, decides to still join him anyway, saying that he's a great hero, he saved people, and he genuinely cares about her. This entire scene is great as it's basically just like a big middle finger to the king and all of his followers. It's really satisfying, and it ends on a very happy note of the two characters being reunited as they prepare for the next part of their journey. So, what's the rundown on this episode? This was a great episode because we finally got to see like the heroes like going up against one another, and seeing Naofumi take down the spear hero was just satisfying as all hell. The smugness of those characters is just ridiculous, and finally getting to see them get knocked down a peg or two is just satisfying as hell. But man, Mine has just got to be the most infuriating character that I've ever seen. I don't usually say this word that much, but she's a fucking cunt. If I made a list of the top 10 anime characters that I hate, she would without a doubt make it on the list. Seeing Naofumi in action in this episode was also really cool, getting to see the various transformations of his shield. Like, he even is able to summon like that two-headed dog from his shield, which makes no sense, but it's fucking cool. And I still love that he manages to utilize those goofy balloon monsters in his fight. He kinda has to, because if he's ever in a situation like this, he needs to use some form of a distraction to actually be able to outwit his opponents. The fact of the matter is, the Rising of the Shield Hero is an anime series that shouldn't be this good, but honestly, I still find it really entertaining, and it might be one of my favorite shows of the season. It really surprises me because I've seen a lot of reviews which are just absolutely tearing this series apart and like trying to treat it as if it's some sort of like high art or Shakespearean writing. It's a fucking light novel fantasy isekai series. Get the fuck over it and don't be so ridiculous. And stop trying to drag it down with all this modern politics bullshit. Not every single story has to be a representation of the times or reflect it. It can simply just be its very own story. And so far, I think the Rising of the Shield Hero is doing a pretty competent job at that. But at least it's doing something that's a little different than the other stories that take place within the same genre. And for that, I have to applaud it. And we're still very early on to see what this series is going to fully deliver, and I'm very excited to see what that's going to be. I liked this episode, despite the fact that I hate everybody in the fucking show. I'm giving this episode a 4 out of 5. You guys should check it out. I'd love to get your thoughts about it. You can tell me all of them in the comment section below, and what you hope to see from the rest of the Rising of the Shield Hero. Thank you for watching this review. I'll see you all next time, and as always, stay down there, baby.